wrestling fans, thanks for clicking the dreaded D Rose report. Hey, the end of the world didn't happen. I should have known anyway. It's not going to happen for a couple of more days, by the way. It still may happen a couple more days because we still got a couple of shows of Oprah to get through. And then she's gone, so that's going to be all then. Mick Foley, by the way, engaged in a Twitter exchange with The Rock regarding their I Quit match in the 1999 Royal Rumble. Kind of funny. Says in the famous I Quit match, he says, I handcuffed Mick Foley and bashed his face 14 times with a steel chair. Rock wrote, he bled, I won. Foley wrote in response to The Rock, maybe so, but 2 days later, I trapped The Rock under a pallet of beer kegs and to win the WWE strap in an empty arena match, also known as a TNA house show. Oh, man. Anyway, TNA live event scheduled for July 23rd in North Carolina. It's been canceled. If you was looking forward to it, still look forward to it some other time. TNA's next Impact tapings is going to be taking place May 30th and 31st, Universal Studios in Orlando. In light of the Randy Savage passing on Friday due to the automobile accident in Florida, F4W Online posted a report comparing WWE wrestler deaths, similar size, example, in the field of sports and entertainment. Did a little comparison, that's all. I don't know what you're going to make of this, but alright, the report states 51 talents who appeared at the 1991 WWE pay-per-view WrestleMania 7. 14 has died prematurely. That was Kerry Von Erich, Dino Bravo, Andre the Giant, Joey Morella, British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, Mr. Perfect, Miss Elizabeth, Hawk, Hercules, Big Boss Man, Earthquake, Sensational Sherry, Crush, and of course Randy Savage. This list does not include Gorilla Monsoon, was 62 though. He died of natural causes. Lord Alfred Hayes was 76. By comparison of 44 professional football players who started on both either defense or offense at Super Bowl 25 between the Buffalo Bills and New York Giants, all are alive. For professional boxing, of 44 boxers who held the majority of the world championships in 91, WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO, 2 are dead. Of 50 musicians that performed at the 91-92 Monsters of Rock Festival in England, it's an annual festival event that would attract this biggest name, heavy metal stars, rock stars, all remain alive. Draw your own conclusions and all that. Former WWE champion, The Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, posted videos on there on YouTube if you want to check them out about his matches he had with Randy. Dave Meltzer reported that WWE is indeed working on a Randy Savage tribute that was going to be airing tonight on Raw from Portland.
Operation
Obviously, things could change between now and then, but look forward to it. Now, on the pay-per-view last night, they just showed the picture, the date, born and death of Randy Savage at the very beginning. It just kind of faded away and started the pay-per-view. Christian wrote the following on his Twitter last night after the match with Randy Orton at Over the Limits. He says, Seattle, thank you for the love. Congrats to Randy Orton. Even if it takes me another 17 years, I will be heavyweight champion again. Keep the faith. My God. Well, it looks like Alberto Del Rio will be John Cena's next challenger for the WWE title. There's talk this weekend of having Cena versus Punk feud going on next. Readers in attendance at last night's Over the Limit pay-per-view sent word that before the Michael Cole and Lawler match, you could see the WWE ring crew adjusting the bolts in Cole's coal mine so he would be able to go through it easily when Lawler threw him through it. Oh, shouldn't be telling things like that out of school. All right, Randy Orton, he wrote the following on his Twitter last night after the match with Christian. Says, got to give it to Christian. Every match we've had against each other at a pay-per-view, says tonight was just like any other. Seattle, it was of course, Seattle was a great host. There were talk, by the way, of Over the Limits that Bret Hart would be appearing on tonight's WWE Raw in Portland. And he did show up last night. All right, on this day in 1999, the wrestling world lost former WWF Intercontinental European Tag Champion Owen Hart. As mentioned earlier in the column, well, not the column, but earlier in the report, from, hell, a year ago, I guess. Hart died, of course, of Over the Edge pay-per-view, competed against as the Blue Blazer. Hart was scheduled to descend from the ring rafters on a harness. Details of the accidents are sketchy at best. However, after all this time, they've never really said what exactly happened, whether it was a pre-release. But anyway, for some reason, it caused Hart to fall nearly 80 feet, landing chest first on the top rope. He was rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead on arrival of what was later revealed to be internal bleeding from a severed aorta. Mason Ryan is going to be signing autographs at the FCW show June 3rd, Largo Mingrid Hall in Largo, Florida. And June 4th at the Charlotte County Fairgrounds, Port Charlotte, Florida. In addition to doing the Macho Man style elbow drop last night at the WWE pay-per-view, several readers that were in attendance sent word that CM Punk had Randy Savage's name written on the tape that he was wearing. A little homage to him, that's great. Steve Austin's going to be hosting Nikki Sixx Sense radio show today and tomorrow. At the same time of the show is Chris Jericho's going to be recently guest hosted, I guess. According to WWE Raw, it takes place from the Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon, with the fallout from, of course, Over the Limit. Advertised locally, he's going to be seen to take it on The Miz for Cena's WWE title. No matches have been announced for tonight's show, so we'll just have to watch, won't we? All right, The Rock and Psyche star James Roden will be featured on tonight's episode of Tough Enough. I can't. Every time I see The Rock, man, he gets people so hyped up and worked up and funnier than hell. And he is there about knocking somebody's teeth down their throat. I think they have to brush their teeth, they have to shove a toothbrush up their ass to brush their teeth. Something like that. Anyway, there will be no public funeral, by the way, for Randy Savage, as the late WWE champion did not want one. TMZ reports there will be a small service for the family members and close friends. Savage will be cremated. His ashes will be spread around the same tree where the ashes of his dog Hercules and were spread, a few years back, I guess. Savage's brother, Lanny Poffo, told the following to the TMZ that what he thought Savage would say: if it's good enough for Herc, it's good enough for me. There's a characterization, if you want to say it, of President Barack Obama on the WWE, with the WWE, as a WWE referee, put it that way, is featured on the promotional poster for WWE's Capital Punishment, which has got Rey Mysterio on one side of Brock and Cena on the other side, and Brock in the referee shirt. Kind of funny. Now I'm done. Pay-per-view events taking place June 19th, Verizon Center, by the way, in Washington, D.C. Steve Austin guest hosts Nikki Sixx radio show on channel 164 Monday and Tuesday. Didn't I tell you that? Randy Savage, by the way, was honored this afternoon at the New York Yankees versus New York Mets game at Yankee Stadium in memory of. The graphics displayed was the year of his birth, year of his death. On video screen, Macho Man by the Village People played during the tribute. Daniel Bryan, by the way, beat Drew McIntyre via a submission in a dark match prior to last night's pay-per-view broadcast. Paul Bearer is going to be appearing at Sports and Heroes and Legends, 10 Guilford in New York, Staten Island, New York, July 22nd. Check him out if you want. I guess I'm about out of time. Hey, thank you guys for clicking. Hope you, sure, 2 more days, Oprah, and then we're going. I gotta go.